So what we're checking for with this is radon. And people ask, well, what's radon? Radon is a gas that comes from the ground. It comes from uranium way far down in the ground, and it rises. And as it rises, it finds pockets to go through. Radon is very high in Michigan. It's high in actually the Midwest. Radon, again, like I said, it's a gas that causes cancer. It is the second leading killer of lung cancer next to smoking. So if you ever hear somebody, oh, they died of cancer, lung cancer, but they never smoked. Well, more than likely they were in a basement a lot. So you got to remember, if you got a bedroom down here, that means that person is down here at least 8 hours a day, because that's how you get it. Older person, they're bigger. The radiation's not going to bother them as much as a younger kid, a small child. Well, that's a lot of radiation possibly in there for a small child. So that's why I say if you got kids, get it tested. You need to get it tested every 2 years. It's out there, especially in Michigan. And people ask me, well, how often is it? I would say 70% of all the homes that I do a radon test in are high. They're above 4. And if it's high, then you have to have a mitigation system put in. A mitigation system is basically, it's installed one of two ways. If you have a sump pump, a lot of times they'll just tap into that. So when they connect up to that lid, they have a pipe going from the lid, it goes up and it goes outside. Once it goes outside, they have it's a vacuum constantly running, and it sucks all that. If there's any radon gas in the floor, in the dirt, it sucks it to that pipe and then sucks it out. So it'll drop. I've seen them where they've been like 20 something, and then once they put a system in, it drops it down to 1.5. Big difference. So it works. But what people also don't realize is they figure they get the mitigation system in, they're good. Well, not all mitigation systems are installed correctly. There's guys out there that just slap them in and say, oh, you got a system, you're fine. Well, that's why you should test it every 2 years, because it might not have been put in right. You can't just expect somebody to come in and know what they're doing and boom, boom, install it. You got to make sure you got the right company installing it. And unfortunately, in Michigan, there's not a lot of them. The EPA tells you that if it's a 4.0 or higher, it needs to be what's called mitigated. I'm the type of person where if it's 3.5 or higher, I would tell them to get it mitigated. World Health Organization says that it needs to be a 2.8. If it's a 2.8 or higher, it needs to be mitigated. The highest one that I've ever hit was 36. I hit a lot of them in the teens and the 20s. So I also tell people, if you get one put in, have it tested properly. Some of these guys, they give you these little charcoal bags and say, oh, just use this and you're good to go. Well, this machine isn't going to lie on anything. So this one's really sophisticated. It tells me if the pressure in the air drops or rises. It tells me the temperature, if the temperature rises or drops. It'll tell me if the power gets turned off here. It'll tell me if somebody tries to pick this up and move it, it'll know it. This is going to be in here running for a minimum of 48 hours. I keep it at about what a bed height would be, what someone's sleeping at. That's where I'd want to keep it. Put our little sign on the door to tell them, and we are done. Inspection done. Out of all this inspection stuff I do, this is probably the biggest thing I recommend. It's worth it.